Hey everyone, welcome to a fascinating Monday in the world of Bitfarms versus Riot. We got some good news from Bitfarms. We have some like a thorn in the side of Bitfarms news from Riot as well. We'll talk about that. We have some core news, and then we also have Hive providing our production update for June. We'll get into all that. We'll get into your guys' Q&A at the end of this stuff here. So yeah, let's get into it here. So as always, you know the drill here, not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. And my full disclosure for you guys, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, the miners really quick, and then we'll get into the news side of things. I'll give you guys my thoughts on everything there. But here we go. So let me see here. I was looking at Bitfarms, but let's get into Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin had a kind of wild day today. It was up, it was down, it was up again. So it closed out the day here. It was up a little bit here. It was up 1.51%. Closed at 56,699. We did go down to approximately 54,278. We had a high of 58,000. I mean, that's like a $4,000 swing there in just one day. So today was definitely a wild day. Germany's selling more Bitcoin. I think I've heard that they've sold like half of their holdings. So we're getting close to them being done selling. And we'll see where Bitcoin goes right now. I'm still seeing that the RSI is kind of, let me see here, going back here. Price was higher, RSI was lower. I think we're still kind of maybe going back down a little bit more here to 53,000. Retest this again. If this doesn't hold, I'm thinking maybe 51,000 might be our next mark. But we'll see. It's still early in the week. We'll see where the week takes us. But the miners had a mixed day today. A lot of the miners were actually like in the green this morning when Bitcoin was in the green, more so, and then they kind of pulled back towards the end of the day. But let me see who was up here. BitDigital was up 5.6. BitDeer was up 7.6%. Bitfarms was actually up like 6% in the morning, and then it came back down. But a lot of miners did that, so it's not a surprise there. But I thought maybe the news with Ben Gagnon getting the CEO position of Bitfarms would have been a pretty nice spike here for Bitfarms. That didn't happen because Riot came out with a little jab at Bitfarms again. We'll cover that here in a second here. So let's see here. Who else was up? CORZ was up just a little bit here, 0.68%. DMG was up 0.23. Hive was up 2.4. Hut 8 was up 6. And that is basically it. On that, everybody else was kind of down just the single digits here for the most part. Nobody else was down too much. So it wasn't that bad of a day, but it wasn't a good day either. Pretty much mixed day in the miners. Okay, let's get into our news stories that we do have here. Right, we'll talk about all the stuff here that's going on here. First one is on CORZ Scientific. They announced a mandatory conversion of outstanding secured convertible notes. I don't believe these are the warrants, the tranches that we have, the what is it, ZW warrants. I think those are the ones. Yeah, ZW and ZZ, right? So I don't think anybody has those, but they are going to be getting that done here. So no actions required from holders of the notes in the form of global notes at DTC to receive their new shares of the company's common stock in cash. Holders of physical notes will receive notification of the steps they must perform to return their notes to DTC for receipt of their new shares of the company's common stock in cash. Following the mandatory conversion of the notes, approximately 45 million shares of the company's common stock in aggregate will be issued in exchange for 260 million of convertible notes. And they are going to be getting that. They're going to be paying down some debt as well. So in a sense, this is good for them, but this does not really affect, I think, just regular retail shareholders that have the different warrants out there, right? This is convertible notes. So that's more on the creditor side, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Okay, so in a sense, I think this is good for CORZ to pay off some of the debt that they have there outstanding. They're going to be in a better position here going forward. Okay, so let's get into Riot here. What's going on with Riot and Bitfarms here really quick. So Riot launched today a website, a betterbitfarms.com website. This is to, I guess, provide their side, well, their viewpoint on the deficiencies in the board of Bitfarms and all the misaligned, I guess you could say, actions that the board has taken against its shareholders potentially, right? It's a bunch of BS. Well, some of it is true, but some of it is BS as well. It's just trying to make a better positioning for their argument for why they want to buy out Bitfarms, right? And then funny enough, somebody else came out with today. If you guys haven't seen it, go to Twitter. You'll probably find it on there. But somebody came out with a betterriot.com website, which actually points to Marathon's website. I thought that was just hilarious. Somebody's trolling Riot on that. So take a look at that. That was kind of fun. But here's what we got. Here's a website for it. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. So the website is basically a better Bitfarms. It's time to fix Bitfarms' broken corporate governance, right? I think Bitfarms is fixing it. They got Fannie Phillip there. Great experience, great insight into the industry as well. I think she's a wonderful get for Bitfarms. Now they have Ben Gagnon as the CEO as well. They're doing, I think, the right things there. So the timing of this was kind of interesting, right? That Ben Gagnon gets appointed CEO and Riot comes out with this kind of news. It's just kind of like, I question it, like, why would you do this? I think most investors are either for this or against it. And anyway, if you're a Riot investor, you might be for it, but if you're a Bitfarms investor, you're going to be against it. I don't think there's nothing new that they're going to learn here that we haven't already heard in the press releases that have come out. This is just like a waste of time and a waste of money on Riot, really, to go through all this. The funny thing here that I thought also was, and Mike Alfred commented on this in a space today. Let's see, where is it? There it is. They have Mike Alfred's comment here from from X, right? This was back on May 28th, 2024. Also, Jason Les, believes, and I wholeheartedly agree, that corporate governance changes are needed at Bitfarms ASAP, but they didn't put in there also that Mike has said that Riot has issues and they need to fix their own stuff there. So they're just kind of cherry picking things that they want people to see. And yeah, I just thought it was funny, right? He kind of chuckled at this as well, that they included him in there as well. What else do I have here? I mean, it's just basically the case for the change, right? Why do they want to do it? Things like that. It's things that we've heard before as well, how the board is just so entrenched and they don't want to do anything and they're set in their ways and all this stuff. And then, it is what it is. We'll have to deal with this. I think there's a hearing on Riot and Bitfarms happening July 21st and 22nd, I believe, in the Tribunal of Canada for the SEC version of theirs, where Riot is trying to basically have the law there, or the courts decide that Bitfarms poison pill, right, at 15%, should not be applied. That should be the standard 20% or something like that. We'll see where this goes. I think with Bitfarms getting Fannie Phillip and also getting Ben now as the CEO, I think they have a pretty good chance of beating this in court. We'll see where this goes. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks, obviously, when that does happen. Okay, but under the good news here. So Bitfarms appoints Ben Gagnon as Chief Executive Officer. If you guys have been with me for the last couple of months, back in May, I made a case for why I think Bitfarms should appoint Ben Gagnon. You guys can check out the video on my channel. Just search for Ben Gagnon. It'll pop up. I think it's the only one video on it. And you can hear my thoughts on why I think Ben was a good get for them. Somebody that's on the inside already, somebody that knows the operations, somebody that has the technical knowledge and the know-how how to run these operations. And I believe you want somebody like that at the helm of the ship, basically, because that person can, and I think will, do a very good job growing the company, because they know what it takes to grow, what they need, what they're going to need in the future, where they want to see growth happening, things like that. And I think Ben is a great get for Bitfarms. So I'm really happy about this. We'll see how Ben performs, right? It's only for his first day. He did a video, with Bryce McNally and Anthony on their channel. Today was a pretty good video, pretty good interview as well. Not much sustenance there, right? But that's okay, right? It's his first day. We need him to take some ownership here going forward, and we'll see what he has plans for going forward. But he did speak about growing into 2028, right? Into the next halving event. He talked about also kind of doubling down more on the United States as far as growing in that region, which is great to hear as well. And he's open to HPC AI. So that's all good things, right? Next thing is for them to continue to execute on a growth plan for this year, getting 21 access by the end of the year. They can do those things, then look forward to the growth in 2025, 26 as well. See what that's going to bring us, right? But I think Ben is a really, really good candidate here for them, and time will tell, right? But based on what I've read about Ben, his history and everything else, he is definitely very well respected in the industry, very knowledgeable in the industry as well. knows what's going on. He was like the first chief mining officer at any company. We now have Taylor also at Cleanspark. So those are the only two that were chief mining officers. Nobody else had that title in the industry. And now Ben has been basically promoted to the CEO. So I'm hoping good things from him. But here's what we have here. So today announced the board the board of directors has appointed Ben Gagnon Chief Executive Officer, effective immediately. He was previously the Chief Mining Officer, right? Ben is a seasoned leader with significant experience in Bitcoin mining, and we are thrilled to appoint someone of his caliber as the company's next CEO, said Nicholas Bonta, chairman of the board of directors. Over the last 5 years, Ben has been a vital member of the Bitfarms leadership team and has been instrumental in positioning the company to drive organic growth and capture greater share of the global demand for Bitcoin, right? They've had, so we have to kind of back up a little bit here. Going back to 2022, they did make some mistakes. They stumbled. I don't know if it was Ben's. Let me see. I don't want to phrase this. I don't know if it was Ben's. Also was part of that mistake there, whether it was them, the old CEO, not the prior CEO that was here, Jeffrey, the other one that was prior to that, where they took on debt. They had to end up selling Bitcoin and everything else like that, and they had to spend the next like a year and a half to pay off their debt. But they did it without having to go into bankruptcy. And they came out with a plan to grow forward, right? With a nice, ambitious plan to get basically from where were they at 6 exahash to 21 exahash, which was basically a 3x of growth here in the next year. So for that reason, I think they're doing the right things there. Let's see here. The board is confident that Ben is the right person to lead the Bitfarms in the next chapter. During, let me see, I missed something. Going in from Bitcoin. Let's see, companies are going to grow and capturing. Yeah. Okay. So we look forward to leveraging Ben's insight and experience as the company works to expand and diversify the business into exciting and synergistic new areas, such as energy generation, heat recycling, energy trading, and HPC high performance computing for AI, artificial intelligence. The board is confident that Ben is the right person to lead Bitfarms in this next chapter. Well, I'm surprised it took him this long. Right? They've been searching for a CEO here for a couple months now. They had him right under their belt. They should have just tapped him right at that point, and I think that would have mitigated a lot of the fuss and everything else around the FUD around that. So at least we have him now. So during his tenure as Chief Mining Officer, Ben has played a significant role in the development of Bitfarms' growth plan, positioning the company to drive significant value creation, said Eddie Hoffmeister, chair of the Independent Search Committee of the Board of Directors. We look forward to benefiting from his leadership as we continue to capitalize on growth opportunities and further global expansion with emphasis on the United States, right? So they're even talking about it here, which is good to hear as well. They have many operations in many different countries, Canada, Paraguay, Argentina. They have a little bit in the United States as well. And then here's a comment from Ben. I am honored to be appointed CEO and am excited for the opportunity to lead and work alongside such a talented team. This has been a transformational year for the company, and I am encouraged about the future as we begin planning and implementing strategies for the 2028 halving event while simultaneously evaluating potential HPC AI opportunities. As I look to the next 4 years in the company's strategic path, I'm encouraged by the tremendous potential ahead, and I'm confident that we have the right team in place to execute on our objectives. Okay, so I think right now, like I said, Ben being the CEO, which is great. They got Fannie Phillip as well on the board. I think they're doing the right things here going forward. All right, time will only tell. Let's see here. Mr. Gagnon started his career at Bitfarms as a Director of Business Development in 2019 and was promoted to the Director of Mining Operations in 2020 and Chief Mining Officer in 2021. In his various roles at the company, Ben has been responsible for mining strategy and operations, including growth strategy, mining economics, miner portfolio management, and evaluation and integration of new technologies. He has worked intimately with every department of the company. Prior to joining Bitfarms, Mr. Gagnon founded and operated 2 Bitcoin mining companies, holding roles as Chief Executive Officer, Chief Mining Officer, and Chief Technology Officer. Mr. Gagnon earned his Master's in Science and Internet Computing from Hong Kong University and has a bachelor's degree in Science and Economic Consulting and International Business from Cali School of Business at Indiana University. In addition, Mr. Gagnon currently serves as a co-chair of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium Mining Committee and is a lead analyst for the Bitcoin Mining Council. Right, this guy has his stuff, right? He has the knowledge, the experience, the education, everything else that you would want from somebody that you would want to lead a Bitcoin mining facilities and a company, basically. Right, those are all the things that I would look for somebody in that. Some disagree with that thought. Some think that we should have basically a CEO that's more seasoned, somebody that has experience with maybe mergers and acquisitions and banking and funding and all that stuff. That stuff can all be learned, right? But what can't be learned and really can't be really learned, well, you can learn, but it takes time, right? But operations, know-how, seeing what's coming down the pipeline going forward, somebody that has a technology background, especially as this is a technology company, if you really want to look at it that way, right? It's Bitcoin mining, yes, but there's a lot of stuff that goes in there, engineering, electrical, all that stuff, heat, dispersion, all of that goes into it. And Ben's got the experience there. He knows what it takes to build out these facilities, what it takes to grow something as well, right? He was mining in China at one point as well. So he's got the experience there. He's got not only experience in mining, but he also has the experience of mining overseas in other countries as well. So I think this is a great get. So again, congrats to Ben for getting this position. I think it's very well worth for him to do it. And we'll see how he does, right? I'm very positive on this. I think he's going to do very well, but time will tell. So let me know what you guys think of that one. We'll get into the next one here, but I'm happy about this. Like I said, I was calling for Ben to get hired on as the CEO going a couple months back in May, and I thought he'd be the right person for it. And so I'm very stoked about it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay. Let's get into Hive here really quick. So Hive actually provided their update here relatively quickly this time around, which is nice to see. Usually they're like 10 to 14 days out. We're only 8 days in, and they provided it, so I'm really happy to see this. So Hive Digital announces 119 Bitcoin produced in June. HODL grew 2% to 2,496, and it's a pretty quick and sweet update here for them. Let's see here. Production, like we talked about, 119 Bitcoin, ended June with 4.9 exahash. I actually am like 5 exahash. I'm surprised they went down to 4.9. They were at 5. I wonder if they maybe took off some older machines there. Maybe. We'll take a look at it. And then increased their HODL to 2,496. Let me see. Strategic HODL, executive insights, you guys can read that. Operational update, there's not much there except for, let's see here. We have received confirmation that the remaining batch of our S21 orders are ready to ship and in fact have been upgraded to S21 Pros, representing approximately 1,150 of the S21 Pro miners from Hive's original order in December. Additionally, the new purchase of 1,000 S21 Pro miners announced in our May production report are now ready to ship as well. So they're going to be getting about, what is that going to be, roughly 2.5 petahash or 250 petahash roughly of miners based on this alone that we're seeing here. So that's going to be good there. They'll increase their hash rate a little bit as well. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so therefore we expect the 2,150 pending S21 Pro miners to ship in the next week, bringing Hive's total operational hash rate to 5.5 exahash once fully installed, with a global fleet efficiency of 24.5 joules per terahash. Okay, they expect those to be installed by the end of July here. So will be a good update for July for them. But let's take a look at what we do have here for Hive really quick. Hive has 106 million shares outstanding, market cap 362 million. Their performance over the last 12 weeks hasn't been bad. They're up 23% from 12 weeks ago, up almost 37% from 8 weeks ago. From 4 weeks ago, they're up 14%, and then last week they were up 8%. Right, so they're kind of catching a little bit of a good bounce here recently. They're definitely one of the most undervalued miners here right now, based on, if you look at enterprise value to hash rate, right, per exahash. They're definitely one of the most undervalued. We'll take a look at that here shortly. But I'm at 5 exahash here from what they reported last month, so I think maybe they either unplug some of the older miners, or I'm not sure what's going on there. But nonetheless, they do have 2,486 of Bitcoin HODL. That's valued at 164 million right now. Their HODL to market cap is 45%. So that's pretty high there. So they're not really getting valued on their operations, or getting valued more so on their HODL position here. Production here was the same as in May, 119 BTC. Revenue was up a little bit here to 7.84 million from 7.76 million. Their BTC HODL has continued to increase here, which is good to see as well. Hash rate growth, like I said, they were at the same spot roughly. So I'll take a look at the numbers again, see if maybe I can take something out from it. But I think I took out all the old miners already out and replaced them with some of the newer miners that they have in here. Maybe they're still doing that. Maybe that's what's the cause of it. BTC sold, they sold about 91 here, million. That's valued at about 6 million. BTC per exahash efficiency, really efficient still, 23.6, kind of like they were in May as well. And going down here to institutions and analyst ratings, we still have, well, we got a little bit of an increase. 134 institutions now. Shares actually decreased to 39.3 million, and percentages at 34.4 million right now. Still have 2 buy ratings, 1 hold rating. Price target increased a little bit here to 660 for the high. Average, same thing, 5.37, a little bit of an increase, and then the low stayed the same at 350. Now going down here, you can see here on the table that I have 2, and then I'm going down to 43. Between there, they had a bunch of older miners that were like 80 some terahash, 90 some terahash. Those have been, I took those out already. I thought they would have done that by now to get more efficient. And then I did add 779,000 for the Bitcoin transaction fees for the month here, and had them running about 27.87 days. And as you can see here, there's not much. I mean, there really isn't anything else to take out. So maybe I just took out too quickly some of the older machines that they had there, potentially. Right, but I'm at 5 exahash. They said they're 4.9 something. They could be 4.95 something. I don't know. Right, they always kind of round it up or round it down. But that's got us to the 7.84 million here in revenue, which coincides with the 7.84 million based on the 119 Bitcoin and the Bitcoin average price for the month of June. All right, now going up here, as far as my evaluations are here for them, I have in between $2.77 and $4.15 with a PE of 5, right? Because not a lot of growth, not a lot of growth has been announced for future, or at least nothing has been really purchased for future growth here right now to get them to like 10 exahash, 15 exahash. And we know that growth leads to a higher valuation. So that's why I have them at PE 5, and they're $3.42 right now. So I think they're kind of fairly valued. Based on just where they are right now. If they come out that they're looking to grow to 10 exahash, which then would mean that they need to actually buy some infrastructure, buy some more data centers to do that, because I think they're pretty much fully stacked right now with the facilities that they do have. So they would need to buy something. We'll see if they do that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm seeing right now. So they're getting a little bit more fairly valued. But if you look at, let's see here. Look at the enterprise value on these guys here really quick. I think they might have gotten a little bit better now with than Riot even is. Let's see. No, they're still number 1 here. For the current hash rate, they are still the most undervalued at 46 million. Riot is at 63 million right now. If we look at future hash rate, right, where Riot's growing compared to where Hive is growing, where Hive is not really growing much based on what we have now, they're still valued at 41 million, and then Riot is valued at 34 million. So at that point, if you're looking for future hash rate, Riot is more undervalued right now. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense for you guys. But yeah, what does Hive need to do? Hive just needs to grow. They have great operations, great team there. They're very efficient. It's just growth. They got to grow. If they want to keep up with the big boys, they got to grow. Hive has been like one of the first publicly traded mining companies on the Canadian Stock Exchange. They went over to the NASDAQ later on as well. So they have history here, but they're not all that, or maybe they are concerned, but maybe they're just not all that ambitious in growing their hash rate, right? Where we saw IREN beat them already for hash rate already, right? IREN's been around since, 2021, so only 3 years here. And they've outpaced them already in hash rate growth. Cleanspark, Bitfarms was kind of also like an old dog as well. Hive, right? They came out in like 2018 on the public stock exchanges as well, and they're beating Hive right now. So Hive did generate a lot of revenue when they were mining the Ethereum with GPUs, and I think maybe they let the ball drop a little bit on that one. They didn't maybe plan well enough. Maybe didn't think that the proof of staking is going to transition so quickly. So they were relying on that going forward more, so possibly, right? But that's it. I would just say if they can come out swinging, saying that they're going to get to 10 exahash, 15 exahash, or something like that, that they want to keep up with some of the big boys, I think the stock would probably move at that point. But yeah, that is it. So we'll leave it there. My little sales pitch as always. Patreon members get access to all my spreadsheets. You guys will get this updated later on tonight. It's $8 a month. Description, or the link to this before Patreon is in the description down below. It's $8 a month. There might be some spots open at $5 and $4 still. Same tiers. You still get access to all this stuff, and you get access to the Discord as well on there, where we interact in there. Okay, but that's it. let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things. See what you guys have any thoughts on all this stuff with Riot and Bitfarms getting the CEO Ben. Yeah, let's get into it here, and we'll call it a day. So it's been a busy day. It's been a long day as well. I've been still remodeling and everything else. So let's see here. What do we got as far as questions? Let's see. Let's see. Lanu says Riot is childish. Their PA says it all. Yeah. What a great day to announce Bitfarms CEO on Sebastian's birthday. Today's not my birthday. My birthday is, what is it? How many days? But it's like half a year out. Let's see. Andrea says, I have lost all respect for Riot's CEO. It's not a good move. I mean, if you guys saw the comments underneath their post, when they did it on X, a lot of people were against it. They were just bashing Riot and the CEO. Just like, why? Let's see. E. Egner says, hi Seb, question. I sold all my AI stocks like NVIDIA to buy mining stocks like Mara. By seeing that the AI stocks reaching all-time highs and Mara stumbling, I have doubts whether I did right. Your thoughts on that? Marathon. So what we're seeing recently is more of the miners that have AI plays or HPC plays, right? So some of those guys have been doing really well here recently. I expect that to possibly rotate. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but I think once Bitcoin starts going up, some of the pure play Bitcoin miners like Marathon, Riot, and now there's only like Cleanspark left, I think, that are pure plays here. Those guys will probably do better when Bitcoin actually goes up. Right now, Bitcoin's coming down, so that's kind of what we're seeing here. But you may just have to be patient there. Let's see. What took them so long to announce Ben? Yeah, okay, so here's my little tinfoil hat idea why it took him so long. I think maybe they were trying to find somebody from the outside, right? But with the whole Riot thing over their shoulders and everything else, it's going to be tough to find somebody that's of high caliber from the outside, because how can you guarantee somebody a position, a CEO position, that they're going to have for a long time, right? When you have Riot scratching at your door, trying to buy the company out, right? So nobody in their right mind, at least I would think, would want to take on the position unless you had like 100% guarantee that Riot is not going to be able to succeed in buying him out. Because at that point, if Riot buys him out, you're out of a job, right? So that's kind of my thinking there. So maybe they exhausted their search and they thought, okay, who do we have inside, right? And I think they should have went with Ben in the first place, I think. Other than maybe getting like an Adam Sullivan, which has done a fantastic job, right? I give kudos to the guy for CORZ Scientific there. I think Ben, with all his knowledge and everything else, I think he's a great get. And they should have done that a lot sooner. I also believe in the fact that if you have somebody on the inside that has busted their butt off for a number of years, right? Has the credentials, has the education, has the knowledge, has all the stuff that you need, I think you would give them a chance because it's somebody that you already know, fits the company dynamics, the company culture, things like that. You can rely on that person, right? And if they have, you can interview them, you can find out what their goals are, what their thoughts are about things, and see where they want to take the company going forward. And if they have great, outlook on things, where they want to do it, how they're going to do it, all that stuff, give them a chance to do it, right? I think it's always better to hire from within than from the outside because you just never know what you're going to get. Let's see. Manuel says, Ben is one of my main reasons why I've invested in Bitfarms. What a great announcement. Let's go Bitfarms. Yep, I agree. Ben's also one of the reasons I invested in Bitfarms, but also because of their growth and things like that, being highly undervalued from other companies as well. And I saw a huge potential there in them. Let's see. Andrea says, Sebastian, Bitfarms is my largest holding, and I want to sell my Riot shares and invest in another miner. Not financial advice, but your opinion, please, on the best miner. And the best miner, you got also Cleanspark in there, IREN. If you want a pure play Bitcoin miner, it would be Cleanspark. If you want somebody that's doing HPCI, there will be IREN in there. You also include CORZ. CORZ is not going to get a lot of their revenue until 2025 from the HPC, but they're working towards that, right? Good operations there as well. If the warrants exercise, they're going to have cash, so they could grow their self-mining as well. Then you got Bitfarms. Obviously, you're already in Bitfarms anyway, so I will look at those. TerraWolf doesn't have much growth in 2024. More growth in 2025. Same thing with Cypher. And then who else do we have here? Hive is just undervalued because not much growth there, right? So the ones that I mentioned earlier on are the ones that I would probably go into. Is BitDigital or Bitfarms more undervalued right now? Let me see here. I think based on, where is it at? Let me pull this up. On the enterprise value to market cap, let's take a look at that really quick. If we look at it here, okay, here I'll pull this up. So on currently you got Bitfarms at 105 million, you got BitDigital being valued at 149 million, right? There's a disconnect there. BitDigital has 2.7 exahash. Bitfarms is over 10 exahash, right? This doesn't kind of add up here. Bitfarms should be up higher, but we do know that BitDigital has HPC AI as well. And then if we look at future growth, right, Bitfarms is being valued at 52 million per exahash on enterprise value, and BitDigital is being valued at 147 million. I would say Bitfarms is more undervalued right now based on that number there. Okay. Let's see. Germany sold 950 million Bitcoin today, but Bitcoin still held strong. Also, Bitcoin doing good right now. Is it doing good right now? Let me see. Where is it at? It's up a little bit. It's up 0.63%. So it's up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we just need to get past this, and we'll get past this. We have had other FUD in Bitcoin with FTX, Terra Luna, all that stuff, and everything else. So we will get past this eventually. Sarleman Gaming asks, Sebastian, what are your thoughts on Bitfarms website Riot setup? Jason Less needs to be taken to court for harassment. Geez. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a good thing for them to do, right? It's not a good PR move, I don't think. I think if they wanted to do a PR, they should have had Jason come out, just do a video, at a desk, at someplace, at a facility, whatever you want to do, and just lay it out what they see, why they think it's beneficial to Bitfarms shareholders to be a part of Riot, right? That's more personal. This is just like a lowball attack on it. That's kind of the way I see it. Debating if I should sell my BTC ETF to buy more miners, currently up 25% on the ETF. That is up to you. I do think that the ETFs will outperform, or the miners will outperform the ETF going forward here. I think there's still at least 3 to 5x at minimum for the miners. Some of the better ones, obviously. Whereas the ETF would probably follow Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes up 2x, you'd get that. Bitcoin goes up 3x, you'd get that as well. Okay. Let's see here. Frank Holmes did a lot of interviews last cycle. He has been interviewed. Has he been interviewed this cycle? No, I think he's letting Aiden take over the helm there in the interview side of things. But yeah, I mean, Frank was all over the place back then. If you recall, also, he was saying that Bitcoin that is ESG mined, right, is going to be getting a higher value in per Bitcoin. That never materialized. I never believed that it would. I think it's just a bunch of PR speak, right? Nobody's going to pay more for a Bitcoin because it's ESG mined, right? So you got to take that into account also. They just got to grow. Great operations, they just got to grow. Josh Smith says, BitDeer keeps doing well. I think this one has a lot to keep going up. If they can meet their Bitcoin miner manufacturing targets, market cap is at 1.6 billion now. Yeah, I mean, if they can continue to grow, a lot of the growth is not until 2025 and into 2026. They're building out a bunch of sites, a lot of megawatts. So depending if they can build that out fast enough to still catch the bull run in 2025, that might be really good for the stock. But if they're going to be like towards the second half of 2025, that might be a little bit more tougher. We'll see. Can you remind us what we're waiting for as far as the court case with Riot and Bitfarms? When? What's it about? What's the desired outcome for Bitfarms holders? Okay, thanks. I think it's the July 21st, 22nd. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that's the dates. And it's basically Riot going to court in the tribunal, which is the Canadians' version of the SEC, I think. And the reason they're going in there forward is they want to stop Bitfarms from doing the Riot's plan for shareholders, right, which is basically the poison pill, which capped it at 15% and for Riot to buy shares. That's what they want to basically stop Bitfarms from doing. If they can do that, then they can buy up to 20% of the shares and possibly even more at that point. But the outcome that we want is for Bitfarms to prevail, that their shareholders' rights plan is within the laws, right? And if that does happen, I think maybe at that point, Riot will cease and desist, basically stop going after Bitfarms. But we'll see. Nothing's for sure there. And I don't know when we're going to get the ruling on that either. The ruling might not be out until a week or two after that. Not sure. Let's see. Is it difficult to buy green mining center in order to increase exahash? Frank said it's a challenge to buy green miners. Aiden said they want to go to 10 to 15 exahash as the next move and 100 million in HPC. Yeah, I mean, they can. I've heard that too, that they want to get to 10 to 15. Is it hard to buy green? Why? I mean, you don't have to have 100% green. I think if you can get someplace that has nuclear, that's green, right? Some people may not say it's green, but it's green actually. And then you got hydro, then you got also wind and solar, right? And geothermal possibly if you can find that. So if you have a mix of those and you have a little bit of natural gas or something like that in there, that's not a big deal. Nobody's paying a premium on it anyway, so it's kind of like a moot point there. Why would you say you need green mining centers when nobody's paying a premium for it? So that's just the way I see it there. With them getting to 10 to 15 exahash, okay, those are your goals. Let's see what you're going to do to get to those goals, right? We'd like to see a roadmap, timeline. We want to get to 15 exahash by the end of the first half of 2025. That would be a target, right? Right now we don't have a target. They just go out there and say, yeah, we want to get to 10 to 15 exahash. Could that be next year? Could that be the following year? Could that be in 5 years? Right? We don't know. So that I got to kind of nick at them a little bit on that. In the HPC side of the business, they've been kind of building that up for a while here. It hasn't, I don't think it has grown to the targets that they've set out for themselves yet, which is okay, right? They were pretty ambitious targets anyways. But if they can do that, I think that would help also. So do we know Ben's compensation package options? No, I'm sure that will be probably released to the SEC or through their CEDAR website in Canada. I think they have to report that as far as what his contract is like and things like that. At what price of Bitcoin do the miners become profitable? Depending on what you're looking like. Are you looking for all-in profitably, where you include all the costs for SG&A, all that stuff? At that point, it might be higher than where we are right now. Excuse me. Some of the miners are still profitable if you just include electricity and operations there at around 40-some thousand per Bitcoin. So they should be still profitable at that point. But if you include the other costs, if they have a lot of SG&A, I don't include depreciation in there because it's not a non-cash expense. I look at cash expenses. It's probably like around 55 something around there for the some of the other miners. Some might be even higher than that. So your last question, did Ben state Bitfarms would achieve 12 exahash energized in the next month on McNally money today? I think they said they're going to get close to it. They're going to be optimizing, he said, right? So it might be, I don't know if it's possibly, I know they're supposed to, I'm trying to remember. I listened to the interview. It's going to be close, I think. He did state that they're optimizing the systems there, the machines, the electricity, all that stuff. So it might be, maybe not exactly at the end of this month. It might be like first or second week in August sometime. I don't know. So we'll be close. One more question. Since Ben is CEO, are you worried for the person they put to fill his operation positions? Not really. I'm sure they already have somebody in that spot that's within the company that's been kind of shadowing Ben. I would think that'd be the case, right? You want to pull somebody else up with you, somebody that knows the operations really well. And I think Ben's going to be kind of like a dual role right now. He's going to still kind of keep an eye on operations. He has to keep an eye on operations and put out a plan going forward. At least that's the way I think they would do it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's see here. It was always Ben, but he needed and wanted to deliver on the ground with the new fleet. It was always Ben, but he needed and wanted to deliver on the ground with the new fleet. I'm not sure I understand that. Did I miss the coverage on CORZ? What is the evaluation of the convertible debenture? Seems like a string of positive news. Yeah, so it's not the warrants that we normally have, the investors here. It's to do with the creditors and things like that. That's going to get exercised on July 11th, if I remember correctly from it. So it's coming up here. That's going to add another 45 million shares into the shares outstanding. So that'll get them up to, what, 200 some million shares at that point? Right. So we'll see what that does to the stock. Why is everybody saying happy birthday? Maybe because I got Ben, but, that was my birthday wish, I guess, maybe. I don't know. You wanted Ben to be CEO. Now say Bitfarms to be 25 USD by next month. That will come true. I will pocket 14 million. Wow. You would be doing a heck of a lot better than me at 14 million. So, well, it won't happen next month, right? I said I wanted Ben to be the CEO back in May. So we got May, June, July. We got it in 3 months. Okay. So maybe in 3 months we'll get to 25. I don't think we'll have that unless they really come out with some great news there. More like towards the peak of the bull run, we might get there. I think 25 might be on a higher end there. Many companies want a CEO from outside the company because of fresh eyes. I think Ben will be a great choice. I purchased more Bitfarms today in my Roth. Nice. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you want fresh eyes, but fresh eyes on what? I mean, you're mining Bitcoin. You're not, solving. I wanted to say something, I'm not going to say it. You don't have really competition. Your competition is the other miners, right? So what do you really need to do? You need to build out as fast as you can, as inexpensively as you can, as efficiently as you can, and in the right time. That's it. That's all you got to do. Find the right sites, do all the right due diligence and everything, and grow. That's all you really need to do. Did Ben speak about which sites may be capable of HPC, Washington, Pennsylvania? I think he said the one in Pennsylvania. I can't remember if he mentioned Washington, but I think Pennsylvania is one of them. And he mentioned that, I think he said that the one in Paraguay is not a good fit for it. So that's one of the things they're going to be looking for, is if they're going to be looking to buy infrastructure, things like that, they're going to be looking for dual purpose potentially, where you can do Bitcoin mining or you can switch it over to HPC as well. Now, price, which stock is better, Cleanspark or IREN? If you choose one, only one. By price, gosh. I know Cleanspark's pretty well valued right now. So is IREN, actually. I still think, so this is just my conservative price estimates for Cleanspark and IREN in this bull cycle. I think Cleanspark can get to like $70, and IREN could possibly get to like $80, $85, right? So kind of look at it that way, see where things might go. But it also depends on what they announce going forward, right? If they announce huge growth plans, or if they announce a huge AI HPC customer, that could change things as well. Hey Seb, I'm not sure we go lower on BTC. If anything, we go up now that Mt. Gox uncertainty and overhang is done. We might, right? We could. I'm not saying we're going to go down too much further. I'm saying like maybe 51,000 would be like a wick down, and then we pump back up. But it is still maybe in the cards. But I don't think we're going to go maybe further than that. I would be surprised. Maybe if we get a wick below 50 really quick, and then there we overshoot the 51,000, go below 50. That might happen, right? You just never know with Bitcoin. Let's see. How much all miners contribute to BTC market ecosystem? Does BTC price shoots during bull because of miners, or FOMO with retail? How much all miners contribute to BTC market ecosystem? The miners that I cover, the 12 here, account for about 20% of the market cap, or the market of Bitcoin mining right now. And then does BTC price shoots during bull because of miners or FOMO with retail? More FOMO. FOMO from retail. Also because the miners are going to be generating so much more revenue here and be much more profitable in the bull run. So then you get that push, and then you get the FOMO in towards the end of it. So is Riot still holding 14.9%? Yes, Riot is still holding 14.9%. Gary says, Sebmar and Riot are first movers in space, had such a huge advantage over new miners, but have blown that advantage. How have they done so poorly with such big lead they had? Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question, right? Marathon, Riot, you had also in there, I would say Hive in there as well. Hive has been around much longer than Marathon and Riot. How have they blown it? Yeah, I mean, they took their eye off the ball, right? They didn't see that there could be other companies that are going to pose a potential threat to them. They had that huge lead there, and they're like, we're good. And maybe they just kind of rested on the laurels a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. On Wednesday, CORZ should vest after 20-day VWAP. Is this the case? I think that's the case. I've heard that too before. So I think that might be the case if that happens. So you might have the first tranche warrants get exercised at the, what is it, $6 and something, right? If that happens. So that might happen there. Chris says, let little Ben play with the cables. He has no idea how to run a company. He has no experience as a CEO. Little Ben will fail. Riot will take over and fire his ass. He's got experience. He's a smart guy. Don't count somebody out just yet. Is he young? Yes, he's young. But that doesn't take away from somebody's experience that they have, right? Knowledge, all that stuff goes into play. So somebody young could come in and kick the rear ends of some of the older guys here that are, maybe a little bit more sluggish. But we'll see. Do you think that Ben being CEO will cause a positive or negative reaction in the stock price? I'm hoping that it creates a positive, but we'll see, right? It's only the first day. We'll see what he comes out with, what his plans are going forward, how he execute on his plans, all that stuff. So he still has to get measured by his targets and measures and performance and all that stuff. So we'll see. Hey, Seb, does Ben have any knowledge with HPC AI? I'm not sure on that. He does have, what does he have? Let me see where. Bitfarms. He has a master's in science and internet computing from Hong Kong University. So he's tech savvy there, right? Look at this here. So it's right here. Master's in science and internet computing, and he's got a bachelor's of science in economic consulting and international business. So I mean, he's got business. At least he's business educated, right? And then dealing with the company that he's been with now, other companies as well, he's got the experience there. Right, they wouldn't have made him chief technology officer if he didn't have the experience and, internet computing and all that stuff that goes into it. So I think he does have the experience there. Hi, Sebastian. The Twitter spaces we were just at before this got wild after you left. Wish I could have gotten here sooner. I keep hearing Hive is going to rocket. They're not even at 5 exahash thoughts. Yeah, I mean, well, Hive is way undervalued right now, right? But the reason is they're not growing that much this year. That's the whole big thing. Yes, we've heard them saying that they want to get to 10 to 15 exahash, but where are you going to put those miners at? Where are the orders for those miners as well? We need to see those in order for that valuation to really happen there for them. Could they do it? They could. They do have a healthy balance sheet, but they're going to need more than 140 some or 100, whatever they have, 160 million. Where are they at right now? Let's see here. I got too many numbers in my my head. 164 million, right, in HODL. So they do have that. They got some cash as well. But they're going to need more than that if they want to grow by 10 to 15 exahash, or get to 10 to 15 exahash, which would be basically a 5 and 10 exahash increase from where they are right now. So we'll see. I just don't see that happening. They've been pretty consistent on their growth. They've been also pretty consistent on their statements. They want to maintain 1% of the Bitcoin network hash rate. I just don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to find questions. Let's see. Riot is acting like the middle schoolers. It's pretty embarrassing. If the stock wasn't at support, I'd just sell. But geez, they look foolish with the Bitfarms website. I mean, I can agree there. Let's see here. Ben said today that Bitfarms might expand revenue by venturing into other businesses like heating, recycling, generating, waste. Yeah, I mean, that was in their press release. Could you please go into detail about the 3 new revenues? Well, they're looking into it, right? So it's kind of like the same thing with Marathon. Marathon is doing a pilot program in, where is it at? Norway? Is it Norway or is it Finland? I can't remember now. One of those countries where they're Bitcoin mining, and then the heat generated from that is heating the homes there in the community. So that could be one, right? Let's see, that's heat recycling generating. So that's going to be something with maybe they're looking to buy Stronghold out, right? Stronghold has a power generation there. So maybe that's it. 3, waste processing. Waste processing. Well, what does Stronghold do? Stronghold does waste processing on the spent coal. Are we getting a little clue here that maybe that Bitfarms is looking to buy maybe Stronghold out? I don't know. But we'll see. What else do we have here? Sebastian, can Cypher and BitDigital do what Wolf and IREN did this cycle soon? Okay. Cypher has growth plans for this year to get to 13 exahash, right? It's still below some of the top miners where we got Bitfarms getting 21, Cleanspark getting to 32, IREN getting to 30, Riot's supposed to get to 31, and Marathon's getting to 50, possibly by the end of the year, right? So they're still quite a ways behind all those miners there. So it's going to be tough for them going forward unless they come out with advanced growth plans going forward. BitDigital, same thing. With them, they're asset light for the most part right now. Actually, they are asset light. They don't own any infrastructure right now. They host everything for Bitcoin mining and for the HPC business as well, right? So the way things look right now, looks like investors are weighing more on infrastructure. If you have infrastructure, you're getting a little bit of a better bounce than if you don't, because we've seen it with BitDigital. BitDigital is the only outlier that doesn't have infrastructure, and their stock hasn't done that well. It's gone up, but it hasn't done as well as some of the other ones. So I don't know if they can bounce as hard as maybe like Wolf and IREN here recently. The only way they could possibly do that for BitDigital is if they come out and say that they have bought infrastructure. I think that would help the stock there. If they also came out and said they're growing their hash rate more for Bitcoin mining itself, I think that would help there. Because they're only at 2.7 exahash here, so they're way behind everybody as far as all that stuff is concerned. So we'll see. Okay, now you guys are having a pretty heated debate with Chris. Chris is definitely a Riot bull. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Ben said Washington for HPC, AI 3 hours away from Amazon, Google, and other big companies in there, and that's in that area. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I forgot about that. Murphy asks, institutions are still buying Riot. Is it possible they buy Bitfarms and move to turn the board with Poison Pill in mind? To move the board, you mean like institutions that are buying Riot, would they be buying Bitfarms as well and try to turn the board to go for the, I mean, geez, anything's possible if it's a hostile takeover. You just never know. He said, Ben said on his interview today, they are looking for both HPC and MA mergers and acquisitions. Also, he did say outside of the CL was great for AI with all the tech companies over there. Yeah, yep, he did. Let's see, you already covered that one. Let's see. Hey Seb, it's January 2025. BTC is sticking between 50 and 70,000. Would you be worried, basically sideways from March until end of year? Oh, I don't know if I'd be worried. I'd be maybe a little concerned at that point. And at that point, it might force some of the miners to also reevaluate at least some of the miners that are not getting into HPCI reevaluate maybe getting into it, right? That might force them into it. But I don't foresee that happening. I think we're going to start going back up here after the summer, in the next, I'd say probably 6 to 8 weeks or so. We'll probably start going back up, if not sooner. Typically, like September, October are usually really good months for Bitcoin. And then we really start to rocket possibly into 2025 sometime, if it's similar to the other cycles that we had in the past. My other Hive question is related to Bitfarms market cap. Hive would be a better play here, so long as they announce more growth plan and AI HPC play. Anyway, I skin this cat. Hive looks primed for run. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, right? If they come out and say that they're getting to 10 exahash by the end of the year even, right? We're half a year in. They're at 5 exahash roughly right now. If they can do that, I think that would pump the stock up a little bit. And if they say they're getting to 20 exahash by the end of 2025, that would pump the stock up even more. But they need to buy infrastructure, like I said, and things like that. So based on what I'm just seeing here now, without having all those things in place, miners being purchased, they are undervalued, right? But there's a reason why they're undervalued. They're undervalued because we don't have any growth plans, unfortunately. But yeah, if they come up with some news, that could definitely pump the stock there. So you're kind of betting at that point on them providing some good news for them to do it. I have been holding Mara, Riot, Cleanspark for several months now, and it has gone nowhere, zero profits. Do you think I should switch over to another miner? So, yeah, I mean, Marathon, Riot, and Cleanspark haven't done much in the last couple months, and I think it's because we're having a rotation from some of the big guys into some smaller guys, into the AI, HPC plays. So the concern with that would be, what if you switch now and we get that rotation back into those miners, right? Where the miners that have done really well, Wolf, IREN, things like that, people start taking profits out of those and putting it into the miners that haven't done well. There's just a thought there. So that's something you have to think about as well. I still think Marathon, Riot, Cleanspark, long term are going to do very, very well, right? Especially Cleanspark there. And if Riot can get to their exahash they're planning to get to, improve uptime, operations, then they can do really well as well. Why is Bitfarms still undervalued? Even Riot has been buying Bitfarms shares while Riot's trying to buy them out because they have been undervalued. But the main reason is there's been a lot of FUD around Paraguay, Bitcoin mining FUD ban, right? We had the CEO basically going to a transition phase where he's going to help the company out, but then he's going to be leaving. Then he ended up suing the company. Then the company fired him the very next Monday because he filed on Friday. They fired him on Monday. So there's just been a lot of FUD around the company, right? So that's kind of where we're at with it. That's why it's been underperforming. That's why I think in the long run, if they can fix those things, get it right off their back, the stock should do really, really well. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the comments and looking for questions. Okay, what's the possible impact to Bitfarms stock price if Riot takes over? Well, at that point, you get the equivalent Riot shares and some cash for it. That's what it would basically transition into. Let's see. What is it? Okay. Hi, Seb. Can we expect big jump in Riot stock price in Q3 and in Q4? If they can fix their operations, right, get much better uptime, and continue to grow like they say they're going to be growing, I would expect a huge bump there, right? The only thing that might be a negative there is if investors don't feel like them going after Bitfarms is a good thing. I don't know if that's what's really causing the stock right now not to perform well. Not sure. Is Riot still attempting to take over? Yeah, Riot's still trying to do a hostile takeover of Bitfarms. Let's see. Right. Okay. Do you think Cleanspark will continue keep consolidating and moving sideways overdue for a move, in my opinion? Is dilution keeping its shares priced in this range? If so, do you know how much they have left to go? I don't know how much they have left to go. Could be part of their ATM that they're diluting shares as well. I don't know how much longer it's going to go in sideways here. Let me see if I can take a look at the Cleanspark stock here really quick. Yeah, I mean, take a look at this. It's been going sideways here, basically between the Fibonacci retracement levels of 0.5 and 0.786 roughly. Right, it's been kind of bouncing between here. Eventually, I think it will start to catapult back up. But I think we just need Bitcoin possibly to go up a little bit more from where it's at right now. We're at 57,000. I think once we start getting to like 65, 70,000 at that point, this should bounce. And it should bounce pretty nice at that point. Let's see. Can Cleanspark still run, or does it seem like capital will flow out and into HPC BTC miners? I mean, HPC BTC miners, or HPC right now is kind of like the hot topic, right? It's the pretty girl you want to take to the prom. So eventually, I think we will start seeing a rotation out of those HPC plays into some miners that haven't done that well. And we see this throughout the cycle. The bigger miners might pump first. Then we'll get a rotation out of those into some of the smaller miners. And those guys pump, and then we get the rotation back into it. And that's why I'm saying just be patient. If anything, we'll see where things go. But I think the miners that like Cleanspark, Marathon, Riot will do well going forward. What else do we have here? Okay. Hi Sub recently started following Bit Digital and impressed by their strategic and execution so far. The CEO seems good too. Want to hear your thoughts on them, please. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I like Bit Digital. I think they've been doing things right for the most part. I don't like the fact that they don't own any infrastructure, that they have everything is hosted. It has served them well, but they're not getting appreciated for it in stock price. At least that's what I'm seeing here right now. I could be wrong on that, but I think if they come out with a site that they're buying or some infrastructure, some megawatts, right, whatever that might be, I think that's going to be a bullish catalyst for the stock to possibly go up higher, just based on what I'm seeing here right now. And if they can grow their hash rate some more as well. So if they can get a site that can do Bitcoin mining and HPC AI, that would be huge, I think, right? But I also understand why Sam is hesitant to do it, right? Because she wants to serve the customers which are for HPC. If the customer doesn't want to be located in one facility or in one region where they bought the facility, right, and they would be located in another facility, well, he wants the option to then find somebody that's in that region that they can host with and do it that way, which I think is fine too. But I think you can have both. You don't just need one for HPC. What else do we have here? See, David says, Ben did insinuate today that he's expecting big things for BTC next year. If Ben is bullish, then I'm bullish. That dude is smarter than me. Yeah, Ben's smarter than me as well. So I'll take that. Let's see, okay, I'm a little late, but as much as I like Bitfarms, Ben seems pretty solidly BTC mining with minimal HPC. Given Mt. Gox in Germany, you think Bitfarms will be cheaper in the short term? Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Make them down a little bit, but buy the dips if you get them. If you're looking to buy into them, but I think it's going to be valued more going forward. We're just in a really crazy time right now with Germany, Mt. Gox, like you said, all the stuff that's happening. Just be patient if you can. Dollar cost average in on the dips. What else do I have here? Let's see here. Chris is really He's really revving everybody up here. All right, let's see. See, Gary says Cleanspark is operationally sound, so could see a jump, but not sure until Riot and Mara fix issues if they deserve price spikes. Yeah, that's kind of where I see things. Let's see, what else do I have here? Last one on Hive sub, 50,000 to invest in Hive now or 50,000 into Riot. Pick one and why. Oh, man. Okay. So I look at growth. We know the growth that Riot has, right? We don't know the growth that Hive has. Based on that, if Riot can fix their issues with operations and uptime, I would have to say put the 50,000 in Riot instead of Hive. Because with Hive, we're kind of gambling with both in a real sense, but I guess you could say you at least have a little bit more upside there with Riot. Huge hodl, right? Also, and huge hash rate growth this year compared to Hive. So for that reason, I would say Riot probably be the better play there. But if those are the only two that I had to pick with, if I had to pick others, there'd be others that I'd pick. What else do I have here? Okay, I'm trying to find a question here. Okay. Would you follow the crowd if, say, your prediction comes true and rotate, or just keep holding your, e.g., sell your small miner stocks with profit and then start buying Riot Mara when it goes up, etc.? Would you follow the crowd if they say your prediction comes true and rotate, or just keep holding your, e.g., small? Well, if you have small profit on the miners, depending on which miners you have there, if you have small profits on some of those guys there, depending if you trade, I don't trade, I just buy and hold dollar cost average into the miners. But if you're looking to trade, then maybe you would do that, right? If you've seen pretty good growth in some of the smaller miners, maybe it's a good time to rotate through some of the ones that haven't done so well here recently. That's, some people are doing that as well, and they're doing pretty good on it too. I don't do that though. How long do we go for BTC? How low do we go for how low do we go for BTC? I'm thinking maybe like 51,000. I wouldn't think past 49,000 we would go down, but I'm thinking 51,000 right now. And then Mount Gox selling, I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I've talked about this in the past, and I think yesterday's video as well. We go back here to Bitcoin here. It looks like, let me see here. We reached down already 53,700. Next target would have been the 51,000 mark down here, which is also support. So if this one doesn't hold, I think we might be coming down here. This is on the daily chart. If we look at the 1 hour chart, let's see, where's the RSI now? The RSI is at approximately 58. Last time we were around here, and actually price was higher at that point, and RSI is lower now, or price is lower and the RSI is the same. We did have a short time here, which was right here. If you can see the price here and the RSI where it was, and the RSI over here, we did have the same price in the RS, or the same level on RSI, but the price was up higher. So I was thinking that we might start a trend going up. We might have a reversal on the 4 hour and the daily. But now that I'm looking at it here, just on where it is right now, I mean, it could be even back here. I mean, it's tight. It's tough. It's let's see here. I mean, it's close to this level. It's yeah, we're a little bit higher. Hard to tell really right now. Let's see if we can find a better spot here. 58. Last time we were at 58 was back here, really, and we were here, and we are up a little bit from that. So maybe we are still in this kind of reversal pattern where we are starting to slightly go up here on the RSI, at least with price action going forward. But we'll see. What else do I have here? Let's see. Hank says, Sebastian, you got to block Chris. He's trying to consume the dialogue. Not good for you to answer real questions. Have a good night, Sebastian. Off to bed. Take care. Thanks, Hank. I don't like to block people. I think everybody has a right to freedom of speech as long as you're not being mean or not being, well, as long as you're not being threatening or anything like that. And I try to, go past it if I can. But I think everybody has a right to be heard. TJ says, thanks for the spreadsheet, Sebastian. Helps me out a lot. I'm happy to hear it. It's helped me out a lot also. Doesn't mean I'm going to be always right on those, but they do help at least guide me in the right path to then do some more due diligence on it, on the stocks. What else here? So excluding Bitfarms, IREN, and Cleanspark, what you scooping up at today's prices? Gosh, really nothing right now. I've been spending too much money on our kitchen upstairs that we're remodeling. But I'm hoping to have, I was hoping to have some cash this week to buy some more, but I was going to buy some more Bitfarms into it. But things have run up so much here. So I would either just dollar cost average into IREN some more, or Cleanspark, or Bitfarms, or CORZ as well. But those are the ones that I'm seeing that I would want to get into more into. Other than that, Marathon's pretty high up there as it is right now. Riot, I think, is still down. Who else is really growing out of the bunch here? Hive is way undervalued, but again, not much growth. So, kind of the ones that you mentioned are the ones that would probably be still dollar cost averaging into. Let's see here. David, yeah, very good point here. Reminder too, 90% of BTC gains come in just 10 days per year. It's why every time there is a 20% dip, I load up on more miners. Yeah, I mean, yeah, very good point there. I should probably mention that more often too. But yeah, I mean, you don't have a lot of days, but you can have those days, just a couple of days with huge gains, and things definitely change for you. Let's see. The All-Father Son says, I also missed it myself, but show some appreciation for and spank the like button. It's such a small thanks for everything this guy gives us. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, that would greatly help. What else do I have over here? What's your top pick for undervalued miner today? Undervalued. I mean, if you're just straight undervalued, I think it's Hive, right? But there's not a lot of growth here for it, so I don't know how much value there is in it going up forward. It's going to do well with Bitcoin going up in value, but is it going to be able to outperform some of the other miners? I'm not certain of that, right? I don't think so. The ones that I still think that are way undervalued right now is Bitfarms, actually. Bitfarms is probably one of the most after Hive here with good growth and things like that. Riot is also pretty undervalued right now as it is too. But Riot has to fix their operations, continue their growth. Maybe if they get out of trying to buy Bitfarms as well, maybe the stock would do well then. Not sure. Hey, Sebastian, when would be a good to exercise CORZ warrants? This I do not know. I don't know if you can exercise the warrants, or is it up to CORZ to do it, right? I'm not sure on that question. Let's see. TJ, the wheel deal says, I'll super chat you $20 if you can make the sheets shareable versus having them blocked. I don't want to have to screenshot them all cheesy like Jesse Dow does. Well, they are available. If you want to super chat me $20, I mean, I'll get a Patreon membership. You might be able to find a spot in there for $4 or $5. That's $4 months worth of, or 4 or 5 months of membership right there. Then you can get them, and you don't have to take screenshots of it at that point. What else do I have here? Sorry, guys. I'm just looking for questions here. Okay. Question: if Riot has plans to double hash rate, i.e., hash rate, is it funded? I think it is. 900 plus HODL, 45% institution holdings, price them at 23. What is going to take them to straighten out whatever Riot has going on. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the operations. They got to straighten out the operations there. I think then the stock will possibly go up. And it could be a little bit overhang from trying to buy Bitfarms out too. I'm not sure on that one yet. But we'll see. We've seen other miners perform pretty well here in the last 12 weeks. Riot has not. So what's going on there? You got to start thinking about what's really causing Bitfarms or Riot not to do well. Is it them trying to buy Bitfarms out, or is it their operations? Their operations have been improving a little bit. Their hash rate has been growing as well. So I don't think it's that. I don't know. Let's see. SNH says when Bitcoin move higher, many companies will focus less on HPC. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could find it to be the case. Yeah. See, Robbie says, I legit hold 55,000 shares of Riot, but Mara and Spark are my favorites. But profit is the game, and at Riot's present share price, it's an easy, unemotional decision. Yeah. I think they're undervalued. I think they should be valued more. What will it take for them to be valued more? I do not know. Like I said, I think it's just their operations need to be improved. Let's see. Seb, how do you convince your wife to go so heavy into the miners? Not tell her, to be honest. She knows how much is in there now, but she didn't know in the beginning that I was going that heavy into it. Plus, she has really no idea on the stock market, things like that. That's not her forte or her passion, I guess you could say. She's not interested in that stuff, not any of that stuff, investing, anything like that. She's more interested in, cooking and keeping the house looking great and going shopping, spending time with her friends and family and things like that. That's my wife. And I love her for it, because if we were both the same, I think we would kill each other. But yeah, she's fantastic. Let's see. TJ says, Riot's big issue is the deal they struck with the grid makes it tough to stay on all the time. Well, that's for Rockdale, right? Rockdale, they have a PPA in place for 345 megawatts or 375, I can't remember which one it is, but something like that, right? Where they have access to that at the PPA price, which is a fixed price. And then after that, it's the prevailing price of the electricity. And of course, Jason has stated that they have access to all the electricity they want. They'd have a PPA in place. He also stated that they would only curtail like 3 or 5% throughout the year. We'll have to see if they can actually do that. So that's going to be, obviously, time will tell if what he said was the truth on that side of things. If you can only have one BTC miner, which would you choose? Right now? Oh, gosh. One miner to choose right now. Man, that's tough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one I would pick. Cleanspark still has a lot of growth. IREN has a lot of growth still going forward. IREN's working on HPC as well. IREN has more megawatts in their pipeline potentially, but Cleanspark could buy that as well going forward, like they have been buying in the past. Who else? Bitfarms, I think, is well undervalued right now. So based on just, if I think about where companies are and if they're undervalued right now, I think it would probably be Bitfarms if I had to buy one miner right now. But depending how it goes forward, right? It's a lot of unknowns there. It's definitely a gamble, a little bit more. Let's see. TJ says Cleanspark best in class today, in my opinion. I agree. Cleanspark is definitely one of the best. That's yet to lose is probably Cinderella story with Cleanspark. IREN's definitely kicking at their heels there a little bit. Let's see. Mark says visual stocks is fantastic for seeing trends, but I'm all about the data. Same thing. I like the data. I like to see how things are progressing. I'm with you on that one. Jack says, hey, Seb, thanks for everything you do. Much appreciated. You're very welcome. Appreciate you coming in here. Let's see. Do you think Cypher should be 40% more valued than Bitfarms? Is Cypher valued more 40x or 40% more? Let's see here. Where's my market cap? Where is it at? Okay, yeah, so you're right. It's pretty close to that. Bitfarms is about 1.1 billion, and then Cypher is about 1.4. So that is about 40%. Cypher, what does Cypher have? Cypher has right now 8.6. Where's Bitfarms? Bitfarms has right now 10.4. Let's see here. They got 905 BTC. Cypher has a little bit more than that, 2.2. I don't think so. I think that they should be more closely fairly valued to that. If not, Bitfarms a little bit higher, but they're not too far apart based on that. So, right. Cypher also doesn't have as much FUD as Bitfarms does right now. That contributes to things as well. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see, Ben said Ben said he likes the M&A, so mergers and acquisitions, better than building a business from scratch. Bitfarms is eyeing and looking at specific companies for M&A. Yeah, I mean, if you want to grow quickly within the next year to 2 years, right, M&A would probably be the best way to do it. If you're trying to buy greenfields or brownfields, whatever you want to call them, that's going to take time. You need to get connections, set up all that stuff, substations, and that takes a long time. See. There's a theory this cycle is different and BTC may take a long time to get to 100,000, maybe 1 to 2 years. If this happens, what do you think might happen to the BTC miners stocks in the next few months and or years? Gosh, I don't know if it's going to be, well, I don't know if it's going to be 100,000 in the next year to 2 years, right? I think there is a case to be said that Bitcoin might be just on a prolonged bull run here, meaning that it could be 4 to 5 years before we peak, and at that point we don't know where we're going to be. But I don't think 100,000 here in the next year to 2 years is the top for it, at least not what I'm seeing it right now. But if that was the case, that if that did happen here and we're slowly going up to 100,000 in the next year to 2 years, that's going to be tough, right? We need that big rally in Bitcoin in order for the miners to become really profitable in that several month period, right? We're looking at 6 to maybe 9 months period or something like that, right? Where we have a nice up, and I'm probably doing this in reverse for you guys, but you get that peak and then valley, right? So in that time frame, you get about 6 to 9 months roughly of really good revenues, and we need that for the miners. Because if we don't get that, the network hash rate is going to continue to go up potentially because of all the miners that they have purchased, and along with all the unknown 80% of miners that we don't cover that have also possibly purchased miners. So the hash rate is going to be increasing, efficiency is going to be increasing on that as well. So it's going to be a tough spot to be in with the miners. At that point, a lot of miners are going to be looking for HPC AI plays, which then could be a saving grace for them, right? But we'll see. Let's see. DJ says, I'm already a pro member, bro. Oh, well, I appreciate that. So, well, then you get all the stuff. He's talking about the Patreon membership and the spreadsheets on that. Let's see. I have the sheets, but they aren't shareable on my streams. What do you mean by streams? I'm not sure what you mean by streams. They aren't shareable. You get the PDFs, you get the Apple numbers version of it, and you get the Excel, which was an export from Apple numbers there. You should be able to download all those, I think. Or you're talking about being a member on YouTube, I think. Sorry if that's the case. It should be where you can download it, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I thought that was the thing. I gotta give you guys the newest ones anyways. Thank you for reminding me if that's the case. Question, do you invest in any other stocks beside the miners? Not recently. I was getting into Rivian. I had about 1,000 shares of it, but I came to a realization that Rivian's going to be like a 5 to 10 year play at least, right? So I sold 90% of it, and I put it all into the miners. Let's see. Angie says, especially Patreon is amazing for the price. Big fan of the data sheets. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. DJ says he's been a member for 6 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. What is the combined exahash between Riot and Bitfarms? If they combined, what is the target price of the new company? Oh gosh, I don't have to run the numbers, but combined they would be at currently, what would they be at? 32 exahash, I think, right now. And combined with their full plans for this year, they'd be like 52 exahash. What else do we have here? Are you attending the BTC conference in Nashville? I am thinking about it. It's on my radar. The only question is how far along will I be with the remodel of the kitchen? Right, I got to get that done before my wife and kids come back from vacation. So if I'm close to being done with it, I'll probably attend. If I don't think I'm going to be able to make it before they come back, I may have to maybe go in there for a day. I was planning on going in for Thursday and Friday and then coming back on Saturday. But maybe I'll just go in for Friday or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to see. Let's see. Let's see. DJ the Wheel Deal, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm a member, but the sheets are blocked. It would make it easier when I talk about the miners during my streams. Okay, I'll see what I can do on letting you guys download, but they shouldn't be blocked. Are you blocked from downloading them? Is that the case? Hey Seb, what do you think of having a website like Anthony and Bryce could be better than Patreon? You mean being paid by the companies to promote them? That's not my thing. I want to have a separation, at least as much as I can, between me and the miners and the CEOs and then all the other guys. And this it would be definitely cheaper for the members, right? The members would get it probably for free at that point. But you get so much more data that I have in my spreadsheets than is available through Bryce's and Anthony's page. You get a lot more price targets. You get so many more metrics and things like that, historical data, all that stuff for you guys is there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would. I don't think it's for me. Let's see. The Asian dietitian says, I bought grid at the top of 230 before it tanked after Cleanspark news. Now 50% loss based on your valuation and future growth. Cleanspark deal, do you think it'll go back up to 230 or better to cut losses? Well, I think you'll get, depending when you bought it, I think you'll get Cleanspark shares. I think it's an all shares deal with Cleanspark. So maybe hold it for that. I think Cleanspark's going to do very well going forward. But if that's the case, that you're going to get shares in Cleanspark for it, maybe do that. Let's see. Did big miners buy small miners before or during last bear market? I see something in long-term charts for the beginning of the bear market. I'm trying to think. I don't think anybody bought anybody in the last cycle. I know a lot of companies wanted to go public. There were some companies that bought companies to be public that were pretty much, like defunct companies. But I don't think there was any major M&As happening at that point. What else do we have here? Gary's Pallet says, Mara CEO predicted huge consolidation in mining space after having, but also predicted many bankruptcies in bear market, but seems mining numbers grow more than consolidate. We saw a little bit of consolidation this year with, we saw it last year with Hut 8 and USBTC. This year we're seeing it with Riot trying to take over Bitfarms. Who else do we have here? We have Cleanspark getting grid, right? And then you had also CoreWeave trying to buy out Core Scientific. So you're seeing a little bit more activity here in the M&A side of things. Let's see. Tom Lee, the Bitcoin analyst, predicted 150,000 by the end of this year, end of the year after Mt. Gox drama is over. He said Bitcoin usually moves higher in the second half and usually makes the most move in 10. Yeah, that is usually the case there. So we'll see. Let's see. Chris asks, Sebastian, do you speak Polish? I do. It's not great, but I do. What else do we have here? Thoughts on Mara mining Caspa. Is this bullish? Is it bullish for Caspa? Possibly. I don't know. I think it's fine, right? We had other companies mining Litecoin in the past. We had companies mining other altcoins also. As long as it's profitable and they don't lose the edge on it, meaning that it doesn't get flooded with miners that make it unprofitable. I have no problem with that. It's revenue, right? Are you buying Riot? Seems very undervalued. I am not, and that's only been because their operations have been bad in the past. They are working to fix those. If they do fix them, do I think the stock's going to do much better? Yes, but I'm just so heavily invested in IREN, Cleanspark, CORZ, and Bitfarms that I have enough miners that I think are going to do well going forward. Riot is undervalued, I think, right now, but it would take me a while to get a good sizable position in them. Thoughts on Bitfarms' new CEO? Are you buying on this news? I would if I had the cash right now. I'm trying to scrounge out some cash, so I would be buying. I think the stock is still way undervalued from where it should be, but I think it is good news there for Bitfarms. What else we have here? What will miners do after all Bitcoins are mined? They will continue to mine because at that point the transaction fees should be substantial enough to warrant them continuing to mine. They wouldn't be mining, they would be basically securing the network at that point. They would be mining, they would still be getting the transaction fees there. Yeah, we will be all dead by when that happens. Yeah, it's like, what, 100 and some odd years out? It's supposed to be done mining in like 2140 something, I think. P.S. Why not buy Riot versus other miners right now since Riot is very undervalued versus most? I mean, if you're looking to get into something now, we need to see them operate much better with uptime and all that. But I think, if you look at, let me look at it. I think Bitfarms still a little bit more undervalued than they are. Where's my exahash values? Enterprise. Actually, Riot actually comes in, as being more undervalued right now. So, based on that, you could say Riot is more undervalued right now than Bitfarms is. Bitfarms is the number 3 spot for future hash rate growth, whereas Riot is number 1 spot, so meaning most undervalued there on it. And really, they got to prove to, I think, investors that their uptime is going to be much better. I think their hash rate growth is pretty solid, right? They've done a really good job. They added 7 exahash here in the last month. So that shouldn't be a concern there. It's just operational uptime. Can they run at a much better rate there? Okay, I think I'm getting close to you guys' questions here. I'm catching up here. Let's see. Every time Bitcoin or miners stall for long periods, people panic. How does this year's many panics compared to last year's? Well, last year we were starting a little bit of a bull run, right? 2022 was a bad year for us. It was coming down all throughout the year towards the end, finally bottomed, and then 23 was actually a pretty good year, surprisingly enough. I thought we're going to, once we get closer to like April of 2023, I thought Bitcoin miners were going to start falling a year before the halving event. They did not. They actually outperformed Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually did really well. It got a new all-time high as well. It's been totally different this time around. But yeah, anytime you get panic, I think that's a good sign. We're getting close to the bottom potentially, and then after that, we usually do pretty well. Just gotta be patient. Let's see here. Price prediction on Bitfarms and Hive at BTC is that 100 million? At that point, I have no idea. Oh, you corrected yourself. It's 100,000. At 100,000, so that's roughly from where it's at right now. What's that? 100% increase, right? Be roughly 2x, roughly. So at that point, I would see Bitfarms being at least 3x from where it's at right now. Same thing with possibly with Hive. Hive might actually kind of follow Bitcoin a little bit more, even less so. It hasn't done that well over the last 52 weeks as far as gains compared to Bitcoin. So maybe it'll just underperform Bitcoin a little bit on that one. Gunther asks, hey Seb, great work. Question, do you think Riot will hit 13 and Cleanspark will hit 21 by next week? Heavy on margin here. I don't know. That would be, what, $3 or something like that? $3, where's it at right now? Riot is at $9 first. So we're looking at $4 increase here for Riot. Yeah, probably not going to happen. Same thing with Cleanspark. You're looking at 21, so that's a $6 increase from where they are right now, roughly. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Not unless Bitcoin really starts going up to like 70 and 75,000 here really quick, which it could, right? Don't know. Let's see. Himanashi, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Lemon, yeah. Let's see. Chances of seeing Bitcoin to 100,000 by the end of the year. I think they're pretty high. We're at 70-some thousand. I think it's doable. I mean, there's a couple of days here that are going to be 10-20% increases, and you're going to start getting close to that. I think it might be close. Do you think Riot will buy Bitfarms and then fire the CEO? If that happens, would Riot be the top miner in the game? Well, they might have the most hash rate potential, but I don't think Riot's going to buy out Bitfarms. I don't think it's going to go through anytime soon. They're going to prolong this and drag this out as long as they can. But they would be top miner. All top miner as in hash rate. Yeah, I think that point would be top miner in hash rate. Operation-wise, Riot's history, that's tough. Especially if they let go of the CEO there, Ben, which was their chief mining officer. Yeah, I don't know. That would be tough. Let's see. David says Ben can't get fired if he quits. Yeah. Gunther, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. And then let's see. How does Riot feel about HPC AI? Riot has stated that they want to concentrate on only Bitcoin. They want to be the best Bitcoin miner in North America. So that is it. All right, guys. We're finally caught up here, and we've been going, holy cow. We've been going on for almost, hour and a half, almost 2 hours? Jeez. All right. Well, I greatly appreciate you guys coming in here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get into the metrics for the monthly on the miners. See which miners did the best here last month, and then the average of the last 12 months. Which ones are coming in the top 5 there. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at some other things going into later on this week. What else will we take a look at? I think we may look at some dilution. No, not that dilution. Dilution we'll do when we get quarterly results. But we'll take a look at, institutions. How have institutions increased month over month for all the miners? Then we'll get into other metrics as well on that stuff of things. So, let's see. Last question here from HD. Could you see Bitfarms allowing a merger with a reputable company like Cleanspark? No, I still don't think so. I think the board's pretty entrenched there. And I think with the growth plans that they have to 21 exahash this year, potentially 35 next year sometime, they're being pretty aggressive here. So I think they think the stock is going to do much better going forward. So why would you merge if you think you're in a pretty good spot, right? They have a healthy balance sheet, so there's really no concerns there on things like that. But okay, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Greatly appreciate you guys all coming in here tonight. Like I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll cover it. And then also, I almost forgot. I've been communicating with Ben here. I forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned this earlier. But I've been communicating with Ben on X. So I'm trying to do an X space with him. It looks like we might be doing it Friday sometime. It will be probably late afternoon. I just don't know exactly what time. When I do find out, I will let you guys know. Okay? But that's it. All right. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And try to stay positive. Be patient. Okay? I know it's not easy, but sometimes it's what's needed. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.